How to send messages that excite women to respond. Generally, I follow up with one of three ways. One is either that you talk about something that you guys had already spoke about. Maybe she was telling you about a great book she was reading, or a trip she was going on, or some journaling that she was writing, or a big test, or some cool activity she was doing with friends. Then I would talk about that, joke about it, ask about it, or so forth. If there's some cool thing you guys discussed in person, and you can call back to that and make a joke. Maybe she was doing yoga in the park, okay, and she was posing, and you were really impressed. And, I might hit her up and be like, yo, seeing you do your poses today was impressive. You got to teach me sometime. I still get wrecked trying to do even beginner stuff. Maybe she was telling you that she's thinking about studying psychology. Ask her about it. Hey, have you ever heard of this principle in psychology called CBT? Or hey, by the way, I never told you, I've been really interested in a lot of psychology recently. Have you heard of eye movement therapy? Number two, I would also just share what's been going on in my life. So I might send her a picture of where I'm hiking right now, or I might share a song that I've been listening to, this new band I love. I might be telling her, hey, are you into any meditation? I've recently been doing a lot of self-development, and kind of sharing more of myself of what I'm actually doing, rather than just being like, hey, what's up? I'm chilling. You? Just send her a message out of the blue. Oh my God, I just finally got done doing a few pull-ups on gymnastic rings. My arms are jelly. What's up with you? Okay, even if it's something as simple as that, at least it's more personal and more emotional. She'll feel that and she can relate to it. Third, other way you can follow up is, instead of relating about yourself, ask her about her. What do you want to know about her? Do you want to know if she's into meditation, if she's watched Squid Game, how she likes to adventure, what's next on her bucket list for the year, what is she reading, what's the most important thing that's happened to her this week? Could be anything, really out of the blue. Has she ever heard of cryptocurrency? Has she tried virtual reality? As long as you're actually curious about this, it's not some BS question. That's the problem most guys do, is they ask things that they're not actually invested in. They just play it safe. Like, are you seeing any friends this weekend? Okay, and they don't really care about that answer, and that's why the conversation goes stale. But if I asked her, hey, I'm thinking about doing a trip to Vegas with friends. Have you ever been? What was your experience? Okay, she's going to feel that's real. She's going to open up about Vegas. I care about it because maybe I'm planning to go to Vegas, and it's easy for me to continue the conversation. But when I start with something that doesn't actually matter, it's impossible to continue the conversation. But keep it tight. Most of my texts are going to be 1 to 4 sentences, and that way it creates a little bit more of a natural banter and dialogue, and it doesn't feel very heavy. So maybe I met her out in the park. I'm like, yo, hey, it was awesome meeting you today. Can't wait to pick your brain more about psych. By the way, I've been really into self-development lately. Have you taken the dive? Boom, send. And at least that's more interesting than most guys just saying, hey, good morning, how are you? How you been? It was cool meeting. And it's usually going to engage a woman if she's actually interested. And last is, if you're having a hard time figuring out, okay, I just want to talk about my day or talk about my interests or ask her about hers, and you don't know what that is, guys, Google exists. Go type in 100 questions to ask a girl or 100 interesting topics to bring up on a date, and pick 1 or 2 that actually resonates with you. That matters. It drives me crazy that I see guys text over and over and over and over the most generic stuff. Hey, what's up? Do the slightest bit of Googling, find something that feels real, a really interesting question or a topic that you're also passionate about, and find a question around that, even if it's already written somewhere else on the internet, and send it to her. The main point is, it has to be real to you. That's what matters. Every question's been asked in eternity, basically, right? You're not going to say anything that nobody's ever heard, but you can at least pick a really interesting question that matters to you. So maybe I care about experiences in past, or maybe we were just talking about her childhood and growing up, or maybe she moved here from somewhere, and I'd say something like, hey, so I know you recently moved from your family. It got me thinking, what's one of your first memories ever with your family? Or what's one of your earliest memories that you can remember? And it's cool to me because I love learning about people's past. I love hearing about their journey. It's also really funny to hear people's childhood stories. The first memory I can remember is me falling in the toilet seat as a little kid. Maybe I was 3 or 4 and getting stuck, and a bunch of people in my family trying to pry me out of a toilet seat. And it's really funny. And if I ask her that question and I care about knowing her story and I actually am invested, guess what? I have a story to share back. She tells me her story and I'm like, that's hilarious. Well, the first one I can remember is really embarrassing, but I actually fell in the toilet and got stuck. And I remember crying as everybody's trying to pull me out. It's funny. It's different. It's unique. At least it's going to stoke her excitement in a way that most guys aren't. And now that she's responding, watch my video here to keep her excited over text before the date. Get her hooked, baby.